start the presentation for it.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Bowers and Wilkins 700 series demonstration. My name is Stephen Courtney-Wheatley. My position at Bowers and Wilkins is Senior Technical Support and Product Trainer. This morning I'm joined by my colleague Tom Henderson, who will be assisting me at changing the speakers over, where we'll run through our range of speakers from the outgoing CM series through the new 707 stand mount, 705 stand mount and the floor standing 702s with a variety of music. For those of you sat in the middle, you've probably got the best spot because you should be able to position all the singers and all the artists right in the middle. For those of you slightly on the outside edge, you may have it slightly skewed. So we went through a process yesterday of setting this up. We have a handful of tracks to run through. The whole point of the demonstration is to show you the technological changes, the evolution from the outgoing CM series into the new 700 series with all the technological changes that have been applied from our top of the range 800 series, trickling down into a more affordable range. What we'd like to do first of all is to demonstrate how good this luxury miniature is. I like to call it a luxury miniature because, to be honest with you, it's a really compact speaker and yet it can throw out a really large sound with loads of expression, loads of detail. So we'll demonstrate this, then we'll switch the speakers over and we'll slowly go through the processes of the 700 series. We will look at the technologies that have been applied. I've also got some little props that I can hand out to you because it's always nice to get hands on and understand what it is we've applied and how we've done it and why it sounds that much better. Okay, all making sense so far? Brilliant. So what I'd like to do is to first of all play a track to you by Gregory Porter. Now those of you familiar with Gregory Porter, he's got a really rich, bold voice. There's also piano, beautifully recorded, and you've also got the sweeping across of the drum skin as well as the cymbals. So what we'll do is we'll play it on the CM1s first of all to show you how good this technology was. And to be fair, the CM series was extremely popular. So we'll begin with this. It's called Holding On.
Shoulders, I thought that it would be easier than this.
Okay, stop that there. I think you'll agree it's quite impressive that such a small speaker is able to produce such a large sound given the size of the room and the number of people that are in here. Okay, so that's the CM1. Now we'll switch the speakers over to the 707.
Are the panels on the walls yours?
They are, yes indeed, they are acoustic treatment that we've applied because otherwise we will get early reflections off this kind of hard surface and that will mess things up. So what we try to do is to counterbalance where the room would interact. Okay, this is the new 707. I will talk about the technological changes once we've listened to the track to explain why the difference in the sound is perceived. So what we'll do, the same track at the same volume. So once again, Holding On, Gregory Porter.
Weight of love on my shoulders, I thought that it would be easier than this.
Improved? Okay. There's a lot more space around his voice, isn't there? There's a lot more expression there.
More air everywhere.
There's more air, isn't it? It's like someone's injected air into the whole mix. You've got a lot more transparency. And also that double bass. You can hear the wood, you can hear the body of that double bass. Everything's been tidied up. So let's just quickly go through the changes that have been applied. The tweeters themselves have been improved over the previous generation. We were using a double dome tweeter before, which was a 35 micron thick dome on a 50 micron thick voice coil. And that was to stiffen up the entire dome so we had a pure piston. This time round, we've completely changed it. We're using a 30 micron thick dome, and we've actually given it a dusting of carbon over the top. And just to ensure we improve this even further, we're using a carbon ring that sits inside the voice coil to stiffen up that drive unit even further. Therefore, we get far more resolution from the tweeter, a lot more information, detail, less grain, and it sounds far more accurate and precise. That's the reason we're hearing a lot more expression. Together with that, we have a new heat sink that sits behind the tweeter. On the CM series, we were using the tapered tube filled with an absorbent material. This was the original tapered tube. This time round, we've actually got a heat sink, and this removes the heat from the drive unit, ensuring we lower the compression. Therefore, we can play at higher volumes for longer periods of time, and there's less of the sort of dipping of the output because of compression from heat. So this makes a large difference to the performance in the high frequency unit. On the bass mid unit, you'll notice we've changed over from Kevlar to this, the new continuum material. So who was here last year? Who joined us for 800 series? You may recall last year we were showing the continuum. It's a lot more compliant. It's more of an open weave from Kevlar, and it's actually in all these attributes that this allows a drive unit to work far superior. It dies down all of the extra resonances that we don't want in the drive unit. It's self-damping. It works so much clearer and cleaner. I think the way I described it last year, I still use it now. Someone's gone around with a broom, they swept up all the mess, which is why you're hearing the extra air and more transparency, making a huge difference. So speaking of air and transparency, I've got a track by Macy Gray. This is a